Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 4th of April 1953, which is about 6 months on from the end of the last part. And in this video, I want to do two things. I want to talk about quite an important subject, which is going to relate to the progress of this series. The second thing is I just want to give you a bit of a general update of where we are, because it's going to be very important in relation to the first part. Then the second part, hopefully we're going to do a little bit of strategic planning. But before that, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. The key factor at the moment is that we're on April 1953. There is no research going on, just to show you that. But there is some very key dates coming up in the near future, and I just want to talk about those because it's a bit of an explanation of what I'm just about to suggest. That is, if I come down to here, what we've got is modern industry in 1958. That is 5 years away, so we're getting very close to modern industry. And then the other one that we are getting very close to is waste separation education, which is in 1959, which is 6 years away. So now I know game-wise that sounds a lot, 5 and 6 years, but truthfully it's not that much of a time zone. And of course, and to give you a bit more background, if I come into where this is going to be quite particularly relevant, is that if I show you a large food factory at the moment, you can see it takes 150 workers to produce 15 tons of food. If I go to this one, which is the modern food factory, it takes 170 workers to produce 20 tons of food. So you can see that we get an extra 5 tons of food for 20 workers. That's also reflected in the fact that once we get modern industry, we'll also get access to these larger silos as well, and warehouses. So the question is, do I build things now with reduced capacity, or more importantly, do I wait those 5 years and just work on a more strategic general planning during that 5-year period? The problem is that our income is marginal, and of course our population needs to keep growing. Another example is the coal mine, because we've got a coal mine with 100 workers in. We've got coal mines here which need 220 workers, which is basically, to give you an idea here, is I've got this place marker for a coal mine here in Chatham. But coal and iron are going to be very strategic resources. And because you can see that we don't have that much coal, and more importantly, we only have iron in one area. So we need to get the maximum out of these two resources as possible. So what I'm kind of hedging at is that what I want to do over the next 5 years is get Southsea up and running and get this built, because we've already committed to building this, and this is with the older style clothing factories, which is down here. You can see with clothing, we've got a modern clothing factory. You can see this has got, these are both actually have roughly the same size. So clothing isn't quite so relevant. It's more of a question of style. So we can get this built. The real issue is that what I want to do up here is get more modern food production up here. And what I'm thinking is to build it in this area. But what I would really like to do is do it with the modern buildings to get the maximum out. Because what I want, because I've been thinking, and what I want to do is build a modern food and alcohol production here. And then what we'll do is phase out all this kind of mess here. And that also now leads into the farm, because if we go back to the farming now, one of the kind of hidden features of the large farm here is 23, and this is 30. But more importantly, large farms actually have a connection for liquid fertilizer. And this is the reason why I'm building this road out here. Because just to kind of show, I'm not going to place it, I'm just going to show you. Because what I'm thinking is to put a large farm here with a rail connection to here with the crops. And then that will then be shipped over here. But as I said, I don't want to do that before 1958. And that also applies to down to here with this area here. Because we got, at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3 placeholder coal mines. And what I would like to do is get these built with the modern coal mines. But I've got a plan for this area, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's just get into where we are, because in the last part we opened up our steel factory here. Cannot store, export, mixed waste. Look at what's happened here then. Okay. That's not good. I thought, are you not in range of... We need someone to pick that mixed waste up. I suppose these guys are overloaded. That's crop import. Who picks up? Who's moving the mixed waste from here? We're gonna need to do a little bit of emergency fix here, because we can't afford to have the steel mill offline. What is the composition of this? Is biological waste, burnable waste, other waste. What we'll have to do is haul the waste up here and see if we can get that going. Yeah, because we're probably running out of steel now. We've got 34 tons left. I mean, to be honest, these guys are actually running out of work, which means we do need to start working on Lymington. As I say, at the moment, I've been kind of doing a little bit of make work here. The other problem we've had here, which I think should have been fixed by now, yep, is that I've been bringing in more workforce here. Ah, no, I don't want to get citizens. I don't want to pay for my citizens. You come here. Because I'm trying to get more and more workforce into here. Actually, I think what I will do, though, to be honest, I don't think we've really got... We can't store or export prefab panels. I mean, we could get a little bit more, make some money, I suppose. But the trouble is we don't have the rail connections. We got complete at the moment as well, which isn't helping matters very much. And I don't want to use trucks. Traffic jam. Okay, that's just the normal one that comes up. I just want to see if we can get... I mean, as we're getting more and more industries here... yeah, see, these don't export. Steel plant does. I think what we will do here... Right, I've now built this road here. It means I can... Let me just shift. What I will do though is put a road connection there, because I want to build in this little bit here, because this is going to be quite a vital road eventually. Okay, you've got that, because one, it's going to be the road connection to here. The other thing also is it's going to be our main road going up this way from here eventually, and that's the reason why we've got the mud road connection here, which is a bit of a kludge with respect to the area there, because what we've got is this road here. Actually, while we're here, get you guys working on that. As I said, this is a little bit of kind of unfinished work at the moment, so I need to get this done. Eventually we will asphalt out here. Leave that for the moment. Yeah, I think we're going to need a fairly big... Do you have a... you've got an internal garbage stand. My instinct is... because at the moment our only kind of garbage collection is over here. And this is busy. Okay. Right. What I'm going to do is, if I can come into here, what we're going to need here is a technical office. Again, this is modernization, vehicle repair. What we're going to do is we're going to put technical office there. This is what called water supply. We're going to change you to waste pickup. There. You pick up from there. Unload 100%. Get you into, and that means we can tidy this up again. Remove you and you. I've got a feeling when we get to 1958 we're gonna have to spend quite a lot of time kind of modernizing our industry big time, whether we like it or not. Anyway, that little distraction aside, what we're going to do now is get into what I really wanted to do in this part, and that is back into this area here. Now what you see is I've got 3 coal mines here. Now I've been thinking about where am I going to get the workforce, because if you imagine that we've got 3 coal mines and each one of these is going to have 220 workers. That means that to keep these coal mines going will be 600 and we'll need 660 workers constantly, plus the fact we've got this coal mine here which is going to be needed. So I've got this idea. Let me just measure out. See, that's 217 from that one. Where's the other one? This one's here. This one's 282. It's tight. And then we got one there. So what I'm thinking is, I've got no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to plan a metro. This is incredibly long range planning. Actually, if I put you there like that, if I can get you into there like that, so we got, okay, we're going to need a road out of here. We've got to find a road out of here. Okay, we got this road here. Right, let's just do this with mud roads. And we're going to use, we can make the connections with mud footpaths. Oops. Is that going to be good enough? Right. Those two have got a connection with mud. If I upgrade this to asphalt, it's in the middle of nowhere, so it should be reasonably safe. Yep. Right. Chip. Remove that footpath. Remove. So what we've got now is an underground metro station. What we are going to need now is an in station. Be able to put a metro in. Where's the in station? And we're going to have to put a metro in station about there. And then we will need a metro tunnel from there to there. So what we'll have is this to here. Right. Okay, I'll let you do the... I suppose they could build it. They got nothing else to do. So, yeah, okay, fair enough, build it. So we've now got a metro station here. Now, what I'm going to do now is we're going to put... We've got a road coming out here. We've got the steelworks there. And we've got this little bit of space here, which I might be able to use. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put another underground metro station. Where's the road come out? The road comes out that way. I'm going to put another metro station here. Now, as I say, I want to emphasize this is super long term. Why won't that? Oh. Cancel. We've got to kind of curve up like that. So we're going to have to go round under all. Oops. Press Q. Where are we aiming for? We're aiming for about there. I mean, we can go underwater. This building in the way. Okay, can we go under the dock? No, it's not going to work. Okay. This is not. Cancel that again. How are we going to get under here? We've really got to try and aim. I've been under stuff before. I wonder if it's to do with the fact that we go underwater. Oops. Right, I'm going to need to see if I can remove these. If I can't remove them, then I don't want to build it. We're going to have to need to build this as one tunnel. This is going to probably be the longest metro tunnel I've ever built so far. Just to give you an idea, you can see that to build this, is going to take 29,525 workdays. Going to require 765 tons of bricks. So we've now built a up to here, and what we've got to do now, we've already know that we can't build this way. What I am going to need to do is, this is where the fun's going to be, because what we're going to have to do is come above ground here now. So if I go underground and then come above ground, and we're going to come up here. Now, the reason we're coming above ground is that what we've got to do now is create the connections to be able to, or do I keep going underground and then come above ground here? That might be easier. Let me just see. See, because one thing you've got to do with a metro is you've actually got to provide a surface connection. Is there such a thing as a metro bridge? Yes, there is. Okay. I think I am gonna train waiting too long. Okay, sorry. We'll just go and take a look at this. Buy me some time to think about. Oh, no, he's sorted himself out. We're currently laying in the tracks here. Let me just have a look here. Okay. We need this guy working on bit of track here, this bit of road here, and that will give us the connection. Oops, we also need the ground crew. What's it? 1.5 on that. While we're here, okay, can't build that. Can build that, and we need you assisting with that and that. Okay. Anyway, back to over here. We've got this here. Yeah, we're gonna have to come above ground. I don't think we've really got a lot of choice here, so go. But we'll keep this section as short as possible. So that will come to here. And then what we've got to do is lay some metro track. Actually, if we put the metro bridge in first, I think we will. Now, the nice thing about metros is that metros, no, don't like it, don't like it. I think what I am going to do is we're going to have to put a rail network out here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put a, I think with some of you kind of laying out some roads, we can put in an underground station there. And you can pick up here. Go down. This is going to be another mega tunnel. and that can run into there. And again, we're just going to make sure. Again, another, this one's 30,000. It's even longer. Wow. And as I've kind of emphasized, this is going to be a really mega piece of engineering. Now, this area here, if I connect you up to there, yeah, I mean, with a little bit of judicious kind of bits and pieces here, let me just put in that bit there and that bit there, get those built. The other thing I wouldn't mind doing is putting in this, let these guys kind of get their kind of stuff together, take out that, so that we got that connection there. See, make sure the steel mill. Oh, that's an internal. Okay, my mistake. Right, what we're gonna do is we are okay. This needs to be super high priority, please. My steel industry is crippled. Now we might have a bit of a problem here in the sense that, so you're a waste of time. You need 14 tons of steel, right? You're going to tell me soon that there's no steel, so pick up on the border. Okay. I always thought the steel mill was external. I think what I will do here is we are going to put in an actual waste separation thingy here, because once this gets up to fairly high capacity, this could actually draw a lot of waste. So if we do that and put that in there as well. Okay. So my steel production is currently, yeah, we're getting a smidge of production whenever a waste truck manages to struggle out here. So what I will do is, once this is built, we will actually restrict the distance of this one, so that he doesn't come out as far as this industry, and then this one here will cover this industry, the industry in this area. That will give us a little bit more efficiency. Okay, back to, we've now built this. Where's the rail line? I think what I'm going to do is, this is going to be quite some distance away, and I think what we're going to do here is we've got to plan some rail lines. I think with that, these guys might need a bit of assistance on these little bits of road, kind of. Yeah, I think you might. No, you're already connected there anyway. So okay. Right, back to here. Apologies, I'm confusing myself here. In my defence, it's very early in the morning at the moment. Now, Leamington is going to get pretty big as a. I think what we will do is create a town crossroads there, and I think what I will do is, I think this one, we are going to build down to here. Right at crossroads here. We've got 100 builders, got no power supply, that's no problem. We will be running power into this area. Right, distance. So really we got to put a shopping mall centre in here. So we're going to plan a, not a school, my instinct is, what's the biggest? This will serve 405 people, right? We're going to put you about here. Actually, I'll put the road connection there. I think we can get into here. And what we're going to do now is, what's the storage capacity on this shopping mall? 35 tons of food, 35 tons of clothes, 3 tons of 13. So that's going to be fairly large. But there's a possibility that Leamington will expand even further this way, because we've got oil over here. So we may be building an oil refinery in this. So Leamington could possibly become our largest town. So what I am going to do here is I want some cold store. We got this one here, which already comes with a pre-built railway station. Traffic jam, yep. Let me just see. This will be 30 tons of meat. If that be enough, will be. I wish there was a cold store that was between 30 and 75. Although 30 tons of meat would be quite adequate. So if I can put you, say, about there, and then if we put a cargo train station in between like that, then we will put a warehouse. What's the biggest warehouse we've got at the moment? This one, isn't it? And that's 320. That's 560. We'll put a warehouse here like that. Go gravel. We'll gravel you out like that. And now this place is going to need to run its own maintenance as well. So what I'm also going to do here is put in a small open store. Put a small open store there. Get rid of you. Now, the idea is going to be is that we will bring in the food, meat. Although this would be a meat store to begin with, because we got no meat production. And then up here, we've got a rail line connection here. Let me just remove that. It's not connected. Okay. What have you got here? Yeah, you gravel. Oh no, it can't connect because, of course, it's that's electrified track. Actually, I'm going to be a bit sneaky here. Let's just remove if I press shift, demolish. What we're going to do is put that back in as a concrete base. That means I can remove this, and then what we could do is we're going to have a main road up here. This road, so we can come off. Right, let me just come here. We are going to run. We're going to start building track the proper way now. That should be more than long enough. Just make sure 155 meters from there. That's too short. They made a mistake. Come here. And the rail track is just there. Right. We'll run straight north, or straight like that. Straight track means that trains go faster. You can go that way, and then so that brings you into here. We like 249 that way, and 214 that way. So if we come off about here, run along like that, keep the track tight, and run you straight in like that. Tidy this up. This will allow the track to run directly into here, but more importantly, what it will do is allow us, once we've got this planned and I've sorted out the rest of the underground network here, we can then actually plan in all the appropriate connections, depots and everything to be able to build this back this way. Although the darker part of me still kind of looks at this and says, well, we got rail track here, and we only really need sorry about this, guys. Okay, let me just try something. I'm just going to drop a save because this is going to be a bit of an experiment. So I'm just going to drop a save and I'll be right back. What we're going to do is delete that and that back to there. We're going to push you to the surface. Oops, wrong way. Get you as close in as possible, like that. Okay. Above ground, except that. What we'll do now is just connect you and you with surface metro track. Right. So what we need to do now, we've got this line here and we've got a potential here. So if I come off here with, we could build it with wood-based track. Let me just see. We've got to electrify it eventually. I think what we can do is come off like that. What we're going to need is a depot, train depot. Whoops. I'm going to put in a train depot about there. Just going to have to go that way. This will have to come in. Trim that back a little bit. That's better. This will have to come in like this. And then what we'll have to do is go back to the metro track here. You're going to have to come out like that. That's horrible. What I'm trying to do is what these lines are going to be is for actually connecting, building the track, and it's also going to be needed for the actual how can you put it, it's also going to be needed for when we actually add the metros to the right. So we've now got that here like that. So what we've got now is we've got this eventually will be, so what we've got now is we've got ordinary rail track coming in here, and we've there. This is where you've got to be a little bit careful, because metro track and this is definitely metro track, isn't it? Yeah, it can be a bit hard to tell the difference actually. Now what you've got here is that the metro trains can be brought here, which could be then be added to the line, which will then go out that way. Now what you've also got to do now is build a concrete track out here, which will come to about there. And then what you need then from here is like that. And what that means, what you will have here is one side we've got metro track, on the other side we will have rail track. Now what this does is it allows the construction trains to come in to build the metro track, but the line here, once it's actually finished, because this is concrete on this side, but as you can see with metro track it's already electrified. So what will happen is that this will be used in the long term for the trains. So this is only to provide access to the metro trains, which will then run on this line. Can I actually connect those up? Yes, I can. Good. But the line alongside it is only for construction trains. And what will happen is that when this is built, you will get a message saying that normal trains can't run through this section here. Well, that's the theory anyway. I think what we will do is just build that in there to get a connection. Now, the problem's going to be is what that means is we've now got these lines here. We've got an entry point to actually build the track. The question's going to be is how far are we going to extend this? But to be honest, this is going to take a very long time to build until we get a tunneling machine. And I don't think we get a tunneling machine until about the 1970s. So this is going to be a really major investment. What are you building? Oh, you're... Now I'm aware that I'm actually running out of time on this video, so what we need to do is get up to here and see if we can get our this built, because it's not very good. In fact, it's painful. But we've now built this connection here. We've got this tiny little bit of road here, needs one more work day. But I still got, these guys want an absolute tiny amount of asphalt. We're going to build into here, and what we're going to do is shift the focus onto this area. Let's just get up to Southampton. How are we doing here? I think everything here is okay. What we could probably do is a little bit of expansion here, actually. Let me just see, so that we could get some more workforce into here. Just going to drop this in while I'm thinking about it. Residential. I'm going to fall back on my kind of traditional buildings here. And get another 400 workforce in here. 1, 2. It's going to be really tiny little bits of. Question is whether you can get to the store. Yep, good. Right. Because I want the population to continue growing. Okay, that's all being picked up by these guys, but they're probably going to need the assistance of these guys. Yep, good. How many over 21s have I got? Got 156, so we can carry on letting the over 21s flow into here. That would give us another workforce of 400. On 18th of July. What I want to do here is see if I can. Now I'll think about this. Actually, no. What we'll do is. Okay, we can't put a big build in here, but we could get one about there. Maybe it's clipped very slightly on the rail track. Yeah, we lost 0.2 of a, and here we're going to put a medium field. What this is going to be is part of a program to, when we get access to modern farms, we're going to put a modern farm here, and then we're going to kind of get rid of all this and build a proper farm here with a rail connection and everything. Everything else in this area is operating normally, I think, after a fashion. We're still laying the rail track out to here. Oh, it's nearly got there. then that will give us the connection to the border with proper modern rail. And then once we've got all this built in, what I want to do is start using the construction train from here to start laying this track all the way out down to here. But what I will need to do just is I'm going to put a couple of signals there. The reason for that is you can see at the moment that this kind of comes all the way into here. So if I started building from that end, it would the construction trains in this area would interfere with the pathing there. Something you need to remember if you build long range tracks. War stock, how are we doing? We've got this built in here. We've now got our heating plant, so we need to plan in the heating from here. And we've got our little tram station. This needs to be... No. Okay, you guys are not finished yet. Right, let me just make sure we've got a workforce on here. Keep losing that little construction office that I built. There it is. Yeah, you're working on that. You're now working on our heating plant. We'll still just check the trains here because I need these guys to do all the connections. Yeah, they're out of work. This needs to be built. This needs to be built. This needs to be built. And then we got one more. Once this is built into here and we've got the connection to there, I can change the distribution office. And then we need to, I think it's, let me just do a quick, very, very careful shunt over here. We've got we need to electrify this little bit into here so that we get the connection out to here. And the other thing we need to be working on is getting out here. Again, I'm kind of postponing the steel mill until such time as I've got the until we've got the modern, not so much the modern, let me just check something actually. What I want is this modern mechanical components. And when you consider that we're in 1953, it would probably take us a few years to actually build out through here as well. So the focus is very much on trying to get Ferrum online and building up, because that's going to need the workforce, plus which means we've got to build this road connection out here. Part of me says build this. Yeah, I think what we will do, get the road crew on that. We need that good asphalt road yeah, it's being picked up, that's good. Yeah, we want that good asphalt road out to here. We've built the bridge and then we get an asphalt road connection here. Although, to be honest, to get the food supplies and everything for this area, and what we'll probably do is kind of make this into one big urban area eventually, because we've got a coal mines over here in this area, which I would like to bring online, but again, we're going to need modern coal mines for that. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.